Louisville, the entire city of Louisville has been evacuated under an evacuation order. The people in that city, emergency officials saying, leave now. This is a life-threatening situation.
At least 6 injuries have been reported due to the wildfires. President Biden spoke with Russian President Vladimir Putin during a phone call. The White House says tensions at the Ukrainian border and Ukraine's potential admission to NATO were some of the primary talking points. Biden warned of possible sanctions if Russia moved against Ukraine. This is USA Radio News.
You've heard that supply lines are down or moving slow, and that most everything costs more these days. But good news! High-quality Sunny Bay products are in stock and ready to ship now because they're made in the USA. Like our extra-long neck heating pads. They provide soothing relief to painful sore necks and backs, are microwavable, and come in a variety of colors and patterns. What a great gift! An extra-long neck heating pad from Sunny Bay. Also available in lavender scented. Buy now in time for the holidays and avoid any shipping delays. Available on Amazon, Walmart, Etsy, and sunny-bay.com. Just search for Sunny Bay Heating Pad. They're great for men or women, are reusable and easy to clean. So this year, give the gift of pain relief. An extra long neck wrap from Sunny Bay. Remember, just search for Sunny Bay Heating Pads. Order now when our stock is high and shipping is fast. And happy holidays from Sunny Bay.
Think you know Dex Imaging? Think again. In the office, streamlining communications. In the field, delivering top-notch service, enhancing productivity and reducing downtime. In the data center, a part of the growing digital document revolution. In the world of business, supporting entrepreneurs and helping companies grow. In the forefront of technology, developing cutting-edge document management solutions. So if you think you know Dex Imaging, you don't know Dex.
You're getting ready to move and you work hard. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. You need pros. Trained professional moving experts to do the heavy lifting for you. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. They care about your things as much as you do, and they do it fast and right. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. Visit twomeninatruck.com and get moving.
Two Men in a Truck.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors, Sunday mornings at 8 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Listen Sunday mornings at 8 to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors.
Our firm offers insurance services.
Hello, I'm Mark Sears with Regency Printing. With over 10 years in the printing business, I know you'll find Regency Printing the place for all your local printing needs. Plus, I have fax services, mailbox rentals, notary service, U.S. mail, pack and ship, all at one convenient location, 2375 Northeast 25th Avenue. Just look for the yellow signs. Regency Printing, 789-6683. That's 789-6683. Regency Printing.
Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA. 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention and God bless America.
Each morning, we wake up thankful to live in a free nation with liberty and justice for all. But sometimes those liberties can be put in jeopardy, and you may have questions about what to do or who to call. Let Doc Blanchard of Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland help you find the answers. Attorneys at law since 1974 and located in downtown Ocala. If you have legal issues, don't go it alone. Call 352-732-7218. Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland, helping protect your liberties every day.
You're having another great day and you have good taste tuning into WOCA The Source with Ocala Talks and Tom Schmitz. Well, 1 out of 2 isn't bad.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Friday, December 31st, the last day of 2021. We're almost 12 we're almost where we're at 12 hours till the new year. Galen Unoff for Life South is with us on the last day of the year. He's brought to you by Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, located at 2700 Southwest 34th Street. They offer skilled nursing, physical, occupational, and speech therapy. If you have any questions you want to ask Palm Garden, give them a call at 352-854-6262. Again, that's 352-854-6262. We'd also like to thank Penn Flooring. They're a full-service flooring company dedicated to finding the best solutions for your flooring needs with experience in both commercial and residential flooring. They're very knowledgeable in all types of flooring applications. Come in and let them help you save time, money, and maybe a headache, because that's what they do best every day. Go see their showroom at 1201 Southwest 17th Street in Ocala, or give them a call at 352-351-3420. And, of course, we'd like to thank Just Shipped. They've flipped the script on shipping. Before, you had to buy the box, you had to buy the wrapping, you had to do all the packing. Then you had to take your package to the post office, the UPS store, stand in line, wait all that time to get your postage paid, to get your package shipped out. Well, Just Ship does all that for you now. Just reach out to justship.net. For a small pickup fee plus postage, they'll come pick your item up. You don't even have to package it up. They'll take it, they'll box it up, they'll package it up safely. They'll go to the UPS store, the post office. They'll take the time to stand in line so your package gets shipped out, saving you time and money. And as we know, time is money, so they save you money on top of money. That's justshipped.net. Galen, you know, he joins us a little bit under the weather, but he's pushing through because that's what he does. He's a professional, folks.
Well, thank you, Tom. I'm here.
I'm contractually obligated to once a year call you a professional. Dan Martone texted me and said, "Have you called Galen a professional yet this year?" And I go, "Do I have to?" He goes, "Contractually obligated." So there you go. We got it in just under the wire before the new year. That way you can't sue us. There's no litigation now. No litigation. So this afternoon, Galen, 3:30 p.m., the rubber meets the road as number 1 Alabama takes on number 4 Cincinnati. Cincinnati has Desmond Ridder as their quarterback. Could have been different. He was touted as a draft pick last year, but he came back to Cincinnati because he thought he could do something special, and it worked out. They are in the national championship tournament, the first non-Power 5 conference team to be in the national tournament. They play Alabama at 3:30. I see Cincinnati. I know Cincinnati's got a shot because they beat Notre Dame. They trounced Notre Dame, so I know that I know that they have an opportunity to win this football game, albeit an outside one, because they did beat Notre Dame. They didn't just barely beat Notre Dame. They walked through Notre Dame. They played Georgia last year. They played big teams like this in big situations, so it's not going to be too much for them, I don't believe. I just believe Alabama, team-wise, will be too much for them. Is that pretty much how you see it, Galen?
Yeah, I just think at the end of the day, Alabama's got too much talent, right? They have big play capabilities everywhere. Their tight end can go for 60, right? I mean, Cincinnati doesn't have that same thing. And in order to win, Cincinnati's going to have to play perfect, and Alabama's going to have to play really bad, right? So this is a tough one.
The first quarter, I think, is the most important. The first 7 to 10 minutes of that football game are the most important, because if Alabama jumps out, Alabama gets the ball first. They win the toss. They get the ball first. They march down, score a touchdown. Then they give Cincinnati a 3 and out, and then they score another touchdown. They're up 14-0 7 minutes into the game. That game's through. But if Cincinnati can end the first quarter 7-7, 7-3, maybe have a lead 7-3 or, something like that, and they can just stick around, their confidence will build. And that's what, in the first quarter, Cincinnati's going to be, even though they've been in games like this, it's still going to be a little bit of, man, we're in the national tournament against Alabama, the measuring stick everybody wants to be in. And, it could be a little intimidating. But the more they stay in the game and the more they stay neck and neck with Alabama, the more the confidence builds. And then if in the fourth quarter this is a close football game, all bets are off.
I think you're wrong there, and here's why. I think the first quarter is usually the most overrated because people are going to adjust. As you said, there'll be some nerves. Somebody's going to fumble a punt. I do agree that if Cincinnati gets behind, they have no chance.
None.
I mean, Bryce Young is going to destroy them if they get behind, because that means they don't have to throw the ball, and he can do whatever he wants. And Alabama's just so fast, right? I mean, Alabama just runs downhill, and if they make Cincinnati a one-dimensional team and have to throw, the game is over. I think the only chance Cincinnati has to win is if in the fourth quarter they have a 10-point lead, right? That will make Alabama nervous, because then they'll start hearing about all that in the back of their mind. They'll be talking about how all their friends are going to, make fun of them for losing to Cincinnati and all that, right? But that's it. That's it.
If I was the head coach,
Yeah.
if I was Fickle, the head coach at Cincinnati, I'd have made the team watch 3 films, and only one of them would have had Alabama in it. I'd make them watch the Notre Dame game again. I'd make them watch the Georgia Bowl game last year and how well they played against Georgia, and then I'd show them how Texas A&M beat Alabama. I'd show them the 2 games that we were involved in to let them know we've been here, folks. We played big boy football, and we did really well. And look, here's Texas A&M with a blueprint on how to beat Alabama.
Yeah, and let's be clear, the quarterback for Cincinnati can make himself a first-round pick.
Oh, yeah.
If he plays out of his mind. Gardner, I think it's Gardner.
No, it's Desmond Ritter.
That's right. Gardner's the lineman.
Right. Desmond Ritter was last year. He was thought that he would be a late first rounder or early second rounder if he'd come out as a junior.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So he could
again,
move up into the top 5 if he has a great game against Alabama.
Absolutely, because the Jets or some other dumb team will think, oh my gosh, that one game is everything.
Oh, and the Jets you picked the right team. Jets, dumb.
Well, they like to draft quarterbacks first overall, but again, it will be fun to watch. I think that's not. I think Alabama just puts their neck on their throat and they end it quickly.
Their neck on their throat? You mean their foot on their throat?
What did I say? Yeah.
Neck on their
Work
throat.
with me here. Work with me. Can barely breathe.
But you're right. I believe, especially if Alabama gets the ball first, and they march down and get a touchdown, and then they get a 3 and out of Cincinnati right away, this game could get ugly quick.
Yeah, I mean, the spread is 13.5.
Right. But you don't think that there's somewhere, and I know Nick Saban says he doesn't coach this way and everything, but he may not, but his position coach and all, there's some talk on that sideline. This team thinks they belong here. We need to show them they have no business here.
I don't think you never know what coaches use to motivate them. But I think Cincinnati belongs there. I don't think that's a question.
No, I don't think so either. But I think that there are some people, I believe that you and I are in the minority, not in the majority. I believe there's a lot of people that think this is a joke. Cincinnati has no business in this playoff. I've heard pundits on TV. I've heard pundits on TV. They don't come out and say it, but you can, if you read between the lines, they don't think Cincinnati. They think it's a good story and all for the non-Power 5 conferences, but they're Power 5 conference elitists that believe that Cincinnati's been invited to a party they don't belong at. It's almost like they've went to the Delta, not the Delta House, but the other fraternity and Animal House. And remember how he walks in, he goes, hey, good, come over here. Have you met Muhammad? And put him over there where they didn't mess with the party. I think there's a lot of Power 5 conference elitists that believe Cincinnati, if they come into the fraternity house, need to go sit over in the geek section. They have no business at the party.
Yeah, I think it was Theta. But, yeah, I'm with you.
So I believe Cincinnati belongs there. I believe that they've earned their way in. They beat a Power 5 conference team that was ranked in the top 10 at the time. They didn't just beat Notre Dame. It wasn't a close game against Notre Dame. They beat Notre Dame.
Oh, sure.
They put it on Notre Dame. So, and they won the games in front of them. They did everything in front of them. They did exactly what they had to do to sneak into the number 4 place.
And I think this is the more boring game of the two. I think Alabama wins.
I think Alabama wins. I think
the
Alabama
whole
wins.
I think the whole discussion of whether or not they belong there is stupid.
I think
Right,
if Alabama wins by more than the point spread, people are going to say, "See, that's what
Who
we mean.
cares?
They don't belong here."
Who cares? Who's going to be there instead of them? Oklahoma?
No,
Oregon?
Cincinnati would beat Oklahoma or Oregon.
Okay, so what are we talking about?
You and I are on the same page. I'm just telling you, we're in the minority, I believe, not the majority.
All right, well, there are a lot of dumb people in the world.
The primetime game pits number 2 Michigan against number 3 Georgia. Michigan ranked in the top 3 in rushing yards per game, rushing attempts per game, rushing totals per game. Georgia ranked in the top 2 in stopping all 3 of those categories. So this is the classic, who's going to give first. Everybody says, well, Alabama showed you how to beat Georgia. You throw the football. Michigan can't become one-dimensional and throw the football. They live and die by the run, which Georgia's very good at stopping. I think this football game's going to be amazing.
I agree with you. I think Georgia's in a lot of trouble here.
If Michigan throws the ball, maybe, but running the football, Georgia's the best at stopping the run of anybody in college football. And that's what Michigan's bread and butter is, running the football.
Yeah, I think they're in a lot of trouble.
You think Michigan will be able to expose Georgia and run all over them?
Yes. Absolutely correct.
Alabama did away with the run because they thought they couldn't run on Georgia, so they passed all over Georgia.
I think Georgia's in a lot of trouble. I think their confidence is beat. They got the snot beat out of them. I don't think they're as good as they thought they were. I think Alabama exposed them. I don't know how you recover from a beat down the way they got it.
I think Alabama exposed their secondary. Michigan doesn't throw the football. They run the football.
And Michigan's got a really good offensive line, which can stop, their defensive tackle, which is all everything.
The best front seven in college.
They have a chance.
The best front seven in college football belong to the Georgia Bulldogs. They just do. It just is. The best defensive front seven in football is Georgia Bulldogs. Michigan is one of the best running teams, if not the best running team in college football. I think it's going to be a slobber knocker where you see a lot of defense, a lot of running football. I don't see this. If I'm betting this, I'm taking the under on this game because I don't think there's a whole lot of points going to be scored in this football game. But I think you're right. I think Jim Harbaugh figures out a way to win this football game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think you're right, and that's hard for me to say. I think he's a pretty terrible coach, but he's done a heck of a job this year, and that spread is 7.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind betting Michigan taking the points, and let's see what happens.
I just think that everybody's pulling for Michigan to win. Everybody wants Michigan to win because nobody wants to see Alabama, Georgia as the national championship game.
Of course.
We've seen it. Alabama embarrassed them. Now, Georgia fans want to see it because they're like, we'll see you in the national championship game. We'll be ready then. How are you not ready in the SEC championship game?
They look terrible.
They were bad. They were bad. And
Georgia's never won a big game.
And we're talking about Georgia's defense. We're talking about Georgia's defense because we refuse to talk about that inept offense that Georgia runs out there.
Well, what's the last big game Georgia's won?
They beat Notre Dame 14-7 in the Sugar Bowl in 1981, New Year's Day, 1981.
And they had the greatest football player of all time, college football player of all time.
That's not what won that national championship, pal.
No, it's not. But
Notre Dame averaged 31.6. Notre Dame averaged 31.6 points a game. That Georgia junkyard defense, led by Erskine Russell, held Notre Dame to 7 points. That's what won the national championship. Not Vince Dooley, not Herschel Walker. Erskine Russell's defense.
Yeah, well.
Says the guy who has
on that team. Their parents were barely alive at that point.
Says the guy who has, Coach Russell on his phone as a screen grab. He named his dog after his coach. I'm not partial to Coach Russell.
Well, there you go. No, I think this is going to be a real struggle for Georgia. And if they get behind, they cannot win.
No, they're not a come from behind team.
Win.
They cannot win.
Michigan can, but Georgia cannot, and that matters. That really matters. They have no confidence in their quarterback. They're going to make things really simple. They're going to roll them out, make easy decisions, easy throws. You're going to see him tuck and run a lot. You're going to see him run that their pop passes and things like that. This again, I really think Georgia's in a lot of trouble.
I was following a Twitter thread yesterday, and I don't answer these threads because it's just not worth me getting in with trolls and getting into confrontations with trolls, but I was following the Twitter thread yesterday, and it started with a guy saying, once again, this shows you why college football is a joke. 2 SEC schools in the national championship tournament. One of them didn't even win their conference championship, yet they're still in because the committee loves the SEC. And I thought, okay, tell me a team that deserves to be there more than Georgia. Tell me out of the teams that were left out, who belongs there more than Georgia?
It's fair comment, but you got to remember, people hate the SEC. It's not the end of
No, of course. They don't like the SEC, but if you don't like them, beat them. If you don't want Georgia and Alabama in there, the Big 12 have a team that's only got 1 loss that can keep Georgia out. Instead of your best team, Baylor, having 2 losses. If you want a Pac-12 team in there, start playing football instead of whatever it is y'all are playing out there west. Start playing football.
They try not to touch each other on the Pac-10. Pac-12, whatever it is, they try to just not make as little contact as possible. They're very soft.
You want a team out of the almost competitive conference. Clemson was your best team with 2 losses, or were they? Who knows? Pittsburgh may have been the best team, but the almost competitive conference didn't have anybody.
No.
So
down here.
I mean.
But by the way, Michigan, I'll call it right now. Michigan's winning the national championship.
You've lost your damn mind.
Okay.
You've taken way too much core seed and cold medicine.
It could be very true.
All right, so here we go. Here's what we're going to do. A weekend lunch at Longhorns. I got if the game is Alabama-Michigan, I got Alabama, you got Michigan for a weekend lunch at Longhorns.
Sounds good to me.
There you go. Straight up, no points or anything, just Michigan-Alabama.
No,
That's the championship game.
I think Michigan is the better right now. Now, granted, they haven't played, once after they'll play tomorrow, we'll have a different opinion. But as of right now, I think Michigan's the better team.
I just think that for a guy like you who says coaching means something, if you put them side by side, they're so very close except in one position. And Nick Saban coaches circles around the guy in Michigan. And if coaching means something, you got to go with Alabama.
Harbaugh's staff is very, very good.
So Saban's.
Don't discredit that.
So Saban's.
Saban just turns, right? Again, I think Michigan wins. I think Michigan hasn't been there. I think Michigan's going to show up. And I think they win.
By the way, my wife usually doesn't like when I make wagers, bets, and stuff. But, honey, what do you think about me making the wager that I take Alabama, he takes Michigan if that's the championship game for a lunch at Longhorns?
Well, I think that's fantastic.
Because I'll get a free lunch at Longhorns.
You will get a free lunch at Longhorns, of course. Roll Tide. But here's the
I'm
other.
Just gonna cough all over you.
Do you know what's also interesting? I thought my spidey sense, my back of my head was saying it's going to be Michigan-Alabama in the championship game, not Georgia.
You know the lovely thing about being married to her, Galen, is she understands the game of football. You don't have to explain it to her. She's been a lifelong Bears fan, from Chicago. Right. There's a lot to be said. Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, she does. She knows getting her heart ripped out. She's a Bears fan. But there's a lot to be said when you don't have to, well, what is a punt? Wait, why was that a first down? Oh, there's a lot to be said for not having to deal with that.
I agree. I completely agree.
So let's talk about the Kingdom of the Sun. We got the championship game is set.
No, it's already played.
Oh, it played yesterday.
Last
played last night. IMG Blue played Why can't I say?
Eagles Landing.
Eagles Landing, right?
Georgia.
Yeah, Eagles Landing. How did that game come out?
Eagles Landing won. It was a close game, won in the last second. IMG Blue, incredibly well coached, fundamentally sound against a team that can just absolutely jump out of the gym. Eagles Landing was the best team in the tournament, and it showed last night as they got the W.
Yeah, Eagles Landing were they the ones that put North Marion out of the tournament?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that
yeah,
game
and North Marion's best player transferred to the Rock
after the game.
After the Vanguard game.
Oh,
after
the Vanguard game? So he wasn't even there for the Eagles Landing game.
Correct. Sad.
See, the transfer
Sad.
rule.
And again, that's where we're at with basketball. So if you look at it, Eagles Landing is a public high school. That's the first public high school to win in a while.
Up in Georgia.
It's sad. Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, I just don't understand the transfer rules in high school football, and I know why. In high school sports, and I know why they were put into place. I know that the archaic way we did it when I was in high school, that you had to, if you were living with your aunt in a district, you had to prove that you were a ward of hers, that the state had been, the papers had been filed with court records where your parents had gave up guardianship and your aunt now had guardianship and everything. It was almost impossible to play out of your district. And then private schools with scholarships and all started taking kids, and there was nothing that could be done. So then they opened up transfer for public school kids and everything. I know why they did it, but it has really, really hurt high school sports.
Well, they're free. And again, I feel the same way. They're free citizens. Their parents have a right, I believe. They could send them wherever they want.
Yeah, but the fact you can play football, at Vanguard and transfer and play basketball at North Marion.
So you think they should be treated differently than every other student? Because if my son, for example, he's going to Vanguard. We don't live in Vanguard zone. He's going to Vanguard for the IB program. Under your knowledge, he couldn't have that. He wouldn't be afforded that opportunity.
Yeah, I got no problem with that. Your son needs to schlep at the local. The local regular school where they're doing trade things. He needs to learn to be a welder. Well, he doesn't need to have a good job, white-collar job. Teach him to be a welder.
Yeah.
He can go work at the shipyards.
That's the issue. And again, that's the issue, right? My sons, both of them chose to, and they both played sports at Vanguard, but they were in the IB program, right? They
had advanced placement at every high school that I went to.
Advanced placement and IB are not the same.
Well, they were when I was in school because there was no IB. Advanced placement was as good as you could get.
That's correct.
And I was in advanced placement. I still played football.
And by the way, there's a lot of funding for the school because it's IB. Right?
Yes.
It raises Vanguard level because without IB, Vanguard would probably be at best a C school.
And, it also gives you 37 valedictorians, which make no sense to me, but, that's neither here nor there. Hey, Galen, I want to thank you for a year of...
There's going to be 39 this year.
Well, there you go, see. Hey, I want to thank you, Galen, for a year's worth of being here and knowing we could count on you to be here and do your segment sponsored by Palm Garden Pin Flooring and Just Shipped. And knowing that I could eat up some radio time with you every morning and you were okay with it, I want to thank you publicly for that and thank Life South for allowing you the opportunity to come and spread the word about the need to always, always donate blood. So with that being said, Happy New Year to you and your family. And as you leave us for the last time this year, tell us where the Bloodmobile is.
Hey, today we're going to be at the Walmart right there on Silver Springs Boulevard on the way out to Daytona. And again, this is the hardest day of the year. The next 2 days are the hardest day of the year for us to collect blood donors. Usage usually goes way up because our roads are absolutely packed. So please just get out there, give the gift of life, and donate blood.
Galen Newton from Life South. Talk to you next year, pal.
Sounds good. Bye all.
We'll be right back after this timeout on WOCA The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
Strong winds helped spark wildfires that spread over 1,600 acres and prompted hasty evacuations near Denver.